Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 10WT Tips, where every single week we teach you how to form the healthy habits that will transform your body and your life. Yo, we recently launched our brand new virtual 10-week transformation experience program that is going to allow you to form healthy habits that are going to allow you to look like the best version of yourself. Our brand new program can be completed from your home, your gym, your anywhere at any day and any time. I mean, you can live here in Nashville or in San Francisco. You can live in Atlanta, Georgia, or New York City. You can live in Houston or Denver. You can live in LA or Chicago. You can even live in Sydney, Australia, or Toronto, Canada. You can complete this from anywhere, including your hotel room. Our brand new virtual 10WT experience is like a never seen before best-in-class experience. And we've had 454 people and counting who have transformed their body and transformed their self-confidence through the 10-week transformation, and it can do the same for you. Starting August 7th, we're gonna be coaching a group of 30 go-getters through the first ever virtual 10WT experience, and you have the opportunity to be one of the first. Go sign up today at nickcarrier.com, and we're gonna be going through August 7th to October 15th. I mean, if you need a greater level of accountability, the 10WT is for you. If you need more consistent support with being consistent with your eating and exercise habits, then the 10WT is for you. If you want to form healthy habits going into holiday season, 10WT is for you. Remember, we will start August 7th and sign up today at nickcarrier.com. August 7th to October 15th, sign up today at nickcarrier.com. For now, let's dive into the 10WT Tips episode, where every single week we help individuals who are hungry for growth get closer to the best version of themselves so that they can live meaningful and impactful lives. I'm your host, Nick Carrier, and today we're going to talk about how to get muscle definition. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 10WT Tips. Today's episode is kind of unique. It's how to get muscle definition, how to look like you work out, how to look like somebody who is really into their health and fitness. And I think that a lot of people have this idea. A lot of people want to look at themselves in the mirror and they want to look a particular way, and they want to walk around and other people see them and they're like, man, that guy definitely works out, right? We all have those people that we see on a regular basis and we're like, that person works out. They look like they've got some definition. They take off their shirt and like, man, they work out. They wear a bathing suit, man, they work out. They have some definition. And for everybody, their desired level of definition is a little bit different. Often for guys, like, we want to be bigger and we want to have veins maybe popping out. Girls, not necessarily all girls. Some girls might want that, which is great. Some girls just want a little bit more definition, not necessarily size, but they want to look more cut. They want to look a little bit more lean. And so this is for all of you guys out there who want to look more cut, more lean, have more muscle definition, because this is like a higher level of fitness. There's one thing to start on your health and fitness journey. There's one thing to start forming an exercise routine. And there's another thing to start getting actual muscle definition. And so the caveat to the steps in this episode are, you need to be consistent. You have to be practicing your fitness routine and doing your fitness and exercise routine for a long period of time. This is not something that happens overnight. Guys, don't expect veins to be popping overnight. Girls, don't expect to have that kind of definition overnight. To give a quick story, some of you guys who are here in Nashville and who have done Orange Theory before will understand this. There is a coach at Orange Theory. Her name is Coach Linda, and she's jacked. And maybe not jacked, everybody has their own interpretation or definition of. She's not huge, but she's super lean, super defined, and so many girls will be like, I want to look like her. How do I do that? And my first response is, well, you probably have to work out about 5, 6, 7 days a week for 30 years, because that's exactly what she's been doing. She's been consistent with her exercise routine. She's in her mid-50s, and she's been crushing it. And so first thing is, you have to be consistent over a long period of time with doing these things in order to get this muscle definition. But it also takes really a high level of intentionality. And so there's 3 blanket things that I'm going to be talking about today. One, with a fitness, talking about fitness and what you have to do with your fitness routine to have muscle definition. 2, your nutrition routine. And 3, a water intake. So first one, with your fitness, you have to implement the combination of strength training and cardio for muscle and for fat loss. So I'm not saying that those things are separate. Another caveat is strength training is not just for muscle. Cardio is not just for fat loss. Strength training also allows you to have fat loss. So let's get that off the table. But the first thing with strength training is you need to ensure that you're using weights that are around anywhere between 50 and 85% of your 1 rep max. Now, often people who are listening to this, you might not know what a 1 rep max even means. A 1 rep max means what is the heaviest weight where you can do 1 solid rep with that weight. So your 1 rep max for a squat is a heavy weight where you can only do 1 rep of a squat and you can't do 2. Or bench press, you can only do 1 rep of a bench press, but you can't do 2. Any exercise, what your 1 rep max is what you can do 1 rep with good form. And then if you simply take a percentage of that, 50 to 85% should be what you are using if you want muscle definition. Alongside with that, you want to be doing a rep count anywhere between 5 and 30 reps. Now that is a large rep range, but you can see muscle gain in muscle anywhere between that rep count of 5 and 30. Now, the traditional numbers are somewhere more between 8 and 15, so you can live in that 8 to 15 range as well, but just know there are some benefits a little bit below and a little bit above as well. And so 50 to 85% of your 1 rep max for the weights, 5 to 30 reps. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't want to do the 1 rep max, then that's fine. So live within the 5 to 30 reps, but know that all of those sets must come close to failure. Not everyone needs to be to failure, meaning that that last rep that you do is the very last rep that you could possibly do, but you need to be coming close. You might have 3 reps in reserve. You might have 2 reps in reserve. You might have 1 rep in reserve, and you need to go to failure sometimes. Depending on your experience level with training, the more experience you have, the more frequently you need to go to failure, generally speaking. But outside of that, you probably need to be somewhere within the 4 reps in reserve, 3 reps in reserve, 2 reps in reserve, or 1 rep in reserve. So the first thing with strength training is you need to use the appropriate rates at the appropriate rep counts for you. The other thing about strength training is you must have solid form. If you don't have good form and you're not properly engaging and recruiting the appropriate muscle fibers, then you're not going to have the definition you want. So the thing that I like to think about, especially when I'm thinking about doing an exercise for muscle definition or muscle growth, is having a strong contraction at the top of the lift. So if I'm doing a bicep curl, if you're watching the video on YouTube, you can see me doing this. But if I'm doing a bicep curl, my arm is straight, that is non-contracted. Then when I'm curling up to the top, I want to squeeze that bicep as hard as possible at the top before I lower down. You want to be really having that mind-muscle connection of having that good squeeze to maximize the recruitment of the muscle fibers. And so if you're not having a good contraction, you're not going to be optimally giving yourself the ability to form muscle definition. So those are a couple things of strength training. Now with cardio, a couple different things with cardio. Number 1 is have some period of time in what's called zone 2 cardio. Now what I mean by zone 2 is a lower heart rate, and think about it as a conversational pace. If you were running and somebody was running with you, you would be able to maintain a pretty good conversation with them. You might have to take a few breaths, but you'd be able to maintain a conversation. That's what zone 2 is. And you want to have at least an hour to 2 hours or 60 to 120 minutes of there a week. This is, again, ideally. If you're nowhere near that right now, then that's not your goal. But this is for taking it to the next level. 60 to 120 minutes in that zone 2. And then the last thing with cardio is high intensity. You want to spend some time in the high intensity range as well. So 30 to 60 minutes of having that heart rate really elevated, doing high intensity training with high intensity interval training ideally. So fitness, those are 4 different really great things. First thing with strength training, again, 50 to 85% of your 1 rep max, 5 to 30 reps, and make sure you're getting close to failure. With cardio, make sure that you are 60 to 120 minutes and of zone 2, and then 30 to 60 minutes of high intensity. And then back to strength training real quick. Make sure you're doing good form and getting a good contraction at the top. So that was fitness. That was a lot. The other 2 are going to be a little quicker. Number 2 with nutrition. If you listened to last episode, I dove deeper into 3 of your most important food goals to be healthy, lean, and strong. So go back and listen to that episode for a little bit more detail. But if you're also looking to have muscle definition, you need to be focused on protein, having 0.7 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And you might even be able to go a little bit more. Some people are able to tolerate more than that. And some people who strength train a ton and are bigger individuals, you probably need to be going more than that. And then the second thing with nutrition is you got to eat clean, y'all. You've got to eat clean if you're expecting to have any kind of muscle definition. You can't be eating highly processed foods. You can't be having a lot of sweets. You can't be having sugary foods. You've got to be eating clean if you think you're going to have muscle definition. And then third and finally is water intake. How much water should you be drinking in order to have muscle definition? Because water intake is important when it comes to muscle definition. You should have anywhere between half of your body weight in ounces of water to your full body weight in ounces of water. Now, the way that this varies is depending on how much water you currently drink, and then also how much you currently exercise and how much you're sweating out on a regular basis. And so you should at least aim for a minimum of half of your body weight in ounces of water. But then the bigger person you are, you need more. If you're already pretty good with water, then maybe try to be a little bit better. If you exercise a lot and you sweat a lot, then you probably need to be a little bit better. These are three critical things if you're looking to have muscle definition. If you want to walk around and other people look at you, subconsciously knowing that's somebody who's fit, that's somebody who works out. Again, overview. Fitness things that have to be dialed in. Strength training, you have to use the appropriate weights for the appropriate reps, having good form with a good strong contraction or a squeeze at the top. Nutritionally, really optimize your protein. 0.7 grams to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and eat clean. You've got to eat clean if you're looking to take it to the next level. And then finally with water intake, half of your body weight in ounces of water all the way to your full body weight in ounces of water. If we can do these things, now this is hard. That is a lot of different things, and I'm not hitting all of those things personally on a regular basis. Sometimes when I'm more dialed in, like right now at the time of recording this, I'm probably a little bit more dialed in than maybe I would be in the past. So don't feel like you have to do this during all seasons of your life, but there are going to be seasons of your life where you're really looking to optimize, and these are some of the numbers that you can hit on a regular basis if you're looking to really optimize to get that muscle definition that you want. And if you want muscle definition, if you want to be able to hit these things, I would love to coach you in the virtual 10-week transformation experience starting August 7th. We're going to have 10 weeks together, August 7th to October 15th, and we can dial in some of these metrics depending on where you are currently with your health and fitness journey, but we can dial things in so that you can lose body fat, you can build muscle, but not only that, you can form healthy habits that are going to be lasting habits, that are going to be sustainable habits, that are going to lead you on the right trajectory to being the healthiest, most fit, most confident, and best version of yourself. Go to nickcarrier.com to sign up today. Again, we start August 7th. We'll go through October 15th. You can do these workouts anywhere. All you'll need is a set of dumbbells. You can do them any day of the week at any time, so you have the flexibility, and then you'll have the accountability for me and the group. Go to nickcarrier.com to sign up today. But I hope these three different things to optimize your muscle definition, I hope that it helps you get closer to your health and fitness goals and ultimately helps you get closer and closer to your best you.